Hi and welcome to another video lesson in general mathematics. In this video lesson, we'll talk about compositions of functions. Now, ano bang ibig sabihin ng composition of function? We define composition of function as another way of combining a function in which a function is put inside another function. So, ibig sabihin, pagka sinabi natin composition of function, tayo ay bumubuo ng panibagong function na kung saan ang ginagamit nating input ay isang function din. And then given a function f and g, the composition of function is denoted by this notation, which can be read as f composed of g and is defined by this formula, which is f composed of g of x is equal to f of g of x. So for our first example, let us have the functions f of x equals 2x plus 10 and g of x equals 6x minus 8. Let us find f composed of g of x and g composed of f of x. For letter A, f composed of g of x, by definition, this is equal to f of g of x. So, ang gagawin lang natin dito ay papalitan natin yung ating g of x dito ng 6x minus 8, and that will serve as our input. As a result, we will have here f of 6x minus 8. And then yung 6x minus 8 na nakikita natin dito, ito yung gagamitin natin to replace all the variables in our function f of x. As a result, we have here 2 times 6x minus 8 plus 10. And then what we're going to do is we will distribute yung 2 dito sa loob ng ating grouping symbol. So we have here 2 times 6x and 2 times negative 8. Now multiply that one, that will give us 12x minus 16 plus 10. And then when we simplify this one, this will give us 12x minus 6. So for our f composed of g of x, this is equal to 12x minus 6. For letter B, we have here g composed of f of x, and again, by definition, this is equal to g of f of x. And then, kagaya nung ginawa natin kanina, yung nasa loob natin na function will be replaced with 2x plus 10. So, we will have here g of 2x plus 10. And then, after that, we will make use of 2x plus 10 as our input para doon sa ating function g. So, what we will have here is 6 times 2x plus 10 minus 8. And then, performing the same process, kagaya nung ginawa natin kayo na sa letter A, this will give us 12x plus 60 minus 8. And when we simplify this, we will come up with 12x plus 52. So for our g composed of f of x, we have 12x plus 52. Now for our next example, we'll be using the same function. We have here f of x equals 2x plus 10 and g of x equals 6x minus 8. But this time, we will find f composed of g of 2. So kanina, ang ating ibinigay ay f composed of g of x, but this time, we make use of 2 instead of using the variable x. So in order to solve this one, we have two ways to find the answer for f composed of g of 2. So I'll be showing you the first one, and then later I'll be showing you the alternative way of solving this one. So by definition again, for f composed of g of 2, this is equal to f of g of 2. At sabi ko kanina, lagi nating uunahin yung inside function natin. So, ibig sabihin lang yan, una nating i-evaluate yung g of 2. So, our first step here, begin with the inside function. That is, you have to solve for g of 2. And since g of x is equal to 6x minus 8, substituting our x, which is equal to 2 to this function, this will give us g of 2 is equal to 6 times 2 minus 8. And then 6 times 2 is equal to 12 minus 8, and that will give us 4. So, the value for our function g at x equals 2 is equal to 4, and this value here ay ito yung gagamitin natin para ma-evaluate natin yung ating function f. Now, for our second step, evaluate the second function using the output found in step number 1. Now, since ang output natin dito ay yung 4, ito yung gagamitin natin to solve for our value for the function f of x. As a result, we have here f of x equals 2x plus 10, and then substituting our x, which is equal to 4, we will have f of 4 is equal to 2 times 4 plus 10, and then 2 times 4 is 8 plus 10. This will give us positive 18. So meaning to say, the value of our function f composed of g of 2 is just equal to positive 18. So you take note of this value, and remember this one. Para dun sa ating alternative solution, we will compare if we will arrive with the same answer. Okay, so another way of solving the given problem kanina is by making use of our answer, which is found in example number 1. Now, we know that f composed of g of x is equal to 12x minus 6. So using this composite function that we have here, all we need to do is to replace our variable x with the value that is given here. So meaning to say at x equals 2, we will have f composed of g of 2 is equal to 12 times 2 minus 6. And 12 times 2, that will give us 24. And 24 minus 6, that will give us 18. So as you can see, the same yung answer na nakuha natin dito. For our next example, we have here f of x is equal to x squared plus 3x minus 10, and g of x equals 2x minus 4. We will find the same. We have here f composed of g of x and g composed of f of x. So for the solution in letter A, we have here f composed of g of x is equal to f of g of x, that is by definition of composition of function. And then just like what we did in our previous examples, we'll just replace g of x by the given, which is 2x minus 4. And then yung 2x minus 4 na ito yung gagamitin natin na input doon sa ating variable x para sa ating function f. So, as a result, we will have here 2x minus 4 quantity squared plus 3 times the quantity of 2x minus 4. And then we have minus 10. Now, simplifying here our first term, this is a square of a binomial. So, we will have here 4x squared minus 16x plus 16. And then for our second term here, we'll just distribute yung positive 3 dito sa term na nasa loob ng ating grouping symbol. So we have here 3 times 2x, that will give us 6x. And then 3 times negative 4, that will give us negative 12. And of course, our last term, which is yung minus 10. And then after that, we will just combine like terms. So as a result, we have here 4x squared minus 10x minus 6. So this is now our answer for f composed of g of x. And then for letter B, for g composed of f of x, so just like what we did kanina, ang x squared plus 3x minus 10 naman yung magiging input natin para sa ating function g. So replacing our variable, or replacing the variable x here in our function g with x squared plus 3x minus 10. So ang magiging kalalabasan niyan ngayon ay 2x squared plus 6x minus 20. So we just distributed yung ating 2 dito sa loob. Dito sa labas, i-distribute natin siya doon sa loob. And then we have here minus 4. So again, we combine like terms. So ang magiging answer natin dito ay 2x squared plus 6x minus 24. For our fourth example, so gagamitin pa rin natin yung ating given kanina. We have f of x equals x squared plus 3x minus 10 and g of x equals 2x minus 4. But this time, we will find f composed of g of 3 and then g composed of f of negative 1. So since we already know the answer for f composed of g of x and g composed of f of x, then we'll be using that one for our computation. So we have here for f composed of g of x, so this is equal to 4x squared minus 10x minus 6 based on our computation kanina. And then replacing our variable x with 3, we will have here f composed of g of 3 is equal to 4 times 3 squared minus 10 times 3 minus 6. And then simplifying this one, this will give us 4 times 9 minus 10 times 3 is 30, and then minus 6. So 4 times 9, that is 36, minus 30 minus 6. So when we simplify this one, we will obtain 0. Therefore, f composed of g of 3 is equal to 0. For the second one, g composed of f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 6x minus 24 based on our computation kanina. And then, just like what we did in letter A, we will replace our variable x with negative 1. As a result, we have here 2 times negative 1 squared plus 6 times negative 1 minus 24. And then, when we simplify this one, you will have 2 times positive 1 minus 6 minus 24. Simplifying this further, 2 minus 6 minus 24, this is equal to negative 28. So therefore, g composed of f of negative 1 is equal to negative 28. So for the last part of this video lesson, please try to answer this one. So given that f of x equals 2x plus 7 and g of x equals 2 minus 8x, find f composed of g of x and then g composed of f of x. So you may start now. Okay, so if you are done, I'll be showing you the answer. If not, then pwede nyo munang i-pause saglit yung video so that you will have enough time to answer this one. So for f composed of g of x, the answer is negative 16x plus 11. And for g composed of f of x, the answer is negative 16x minus 54. For letter A, this is our solution. So again, by definition of f composed of g of x, so we have here f of 2 minus 8x, and then we make use of 2 minus 8x as our input for our function f. So we'll have here 2 times 2 minus 8x plus 7. And then we distribute 2 inside the grouping symbols. So we'll have here 2 times 2 is 4. And then 2 times negative 8x, that is negative 16x plus 7. And then when we simplify this one, we'll have here 11 minus 16x. So you can have this one as an answer, or you can also arrange this one from the term with variable, tapos hanggang sa ating constant. So rearranging this one, applying the commutative property of addition. So we'll have here negative 16x plus 11. While for letter B, so ito naman yung ating solution. For g composed of f of x, so again, by definition, this is equal to g of f of x. And then we'll make use of f of x as our input this time. So we'll have g of 2x plus 7. And then that 2x plus 7 will be replaced, will be used to replace our variable x in our function g. So as a result, we have here 2 minus 8 times 2x plus 7. Again, the same process, we'll distribute this one, yung 8, dito sa ating expression na nasa loob ng ating grouping symbol. So we'll have 2 minus 16x minus 56. And then simplifying this, we'll have negative 16x minus 54.